Now, for the first time in their history of reporting these numbers, the American Transportation Research Institute just reported that a truck driver's expenses have increased to over $2 per mile. Now, the easy thing to do, as a matter of fact, the lazy thing to do would be to blame this on that mystical word that we all seem to use now and blame it for everything. That word, you know what it is, inflation. Since that would be the easy thing to do, and as a matter of fact, the lazy thing to do, we're not going to do that. We're going to examine it a little bit closer. We're going to find out what's really going on, because what we understand is that the better informed we are, the better decisions we can make. So come on inside, sit back, relax, and let's get down into the business. Let's start our discussion with marginal costs, since these costs have increased for carriers during 2022 at about 21.3%, according to the ATRI, which is the American Transportation Research Institute. Marginal costs include fuel, maintenance, repairs, tires, insurance, and driver wages. So in other words, marginal costs represent the variable cost that will increase as the quantity of the output increases. This 21.3% jump takes carriers from a cost of $2 per mile to over $2.25 per mile. This is the highest recorded cost in the history of the operational cost report. And even more, trucking cost per mile has jumped 34% since 2021, and 2022's mark is 61 cents higher per mile than 2020. Cost per hour in 2022 totaled $90.78, also the highest in the report's history. Now, I know you might say inflation has to be a factor in the increase of these costs, and you would be partially right. Inflation has played a role, but is not the only role, and we would be irresponsible if we just said it was inflation. We have the data, the numbers to prove that it's not just inflation. Check this out. On an annual basis, consumer inflation was 6.5%. Producer inflation, 6.4%. Core inflation, 6%. But now let's take a look at the trucking industry and how much costs have increased. And we're going to throw aside fuel, right? Fuel has had its domestic and geopolitical issues tied to it. We're going to throw that out. But the cost of trucking rose at about twice that rate, twice that 6% rate, to 12%. So it's not just inflation. As a matter of fact, the article that I've been referencing thus far, it points to a bigger issue that's driving cost increases within the trucking industry. It states that things like parts availability, supply chain impediments, and yes, an atypical trucking market is driving costs in the wrong direction. And that very well may be a part of it. But I submit to you there's another part that we may not see. It's called a BTC tax, because they can. Because they can raise the price, because they can price gouge you, they do so. That's just the bottom line. They will continue to do that until truckers unite, until there's unification within the trucking industry. The small trucking companies, if you keep standing out on an island by yourself, this will continue to happen. And just in case all the cost increase madness is not enough for you, they've thrown in some additional dessert on top just for you. Along with the cost increases, we're also dealing with significant rate declines over the last year and a half. So costs increase, rates decline. That's a hell of an environment to be in, but that's exactly where we are. The only question is, what are you going to do? That's what I wanted to share with you today. I certainly hope this information has been helpful. And don't forget, just in case you're considering a career change and thinking of going into something different, something that offers a better opportunity, much less overhead, you can check out the freight broker business through my 5-video series. And it gives a real world situation where I'm in the office and I'm actually talking to shippers, talking to carriers, we're moving freight, so you can get a really good idea of how it works. Check the description box for the link. You'll be able to go to my website, sign up, and we'll start sending out those videos. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.